Author Gail Rubin uses gentle humor to convey the vital information about funeral arrangements that most people don't learn about until faced with a death. And tomorrow, you can learn how to create a great funeral from the Doyen of Death herself, Gail Rubin. Thank you for joining me, and you brought a friend along with you.
Yes,
Who's
this is Lola.
Lola?
I call her Lola because whatever Lola wants, Lola gets. and that's sort of the way it is with death, you know?
Right, yeah, that's for sure.
It's going to happen to all of us.
Yeah, unfortunately, right, until we find a cure for that, you know. So tomorrow it's the 14th annual Create a Great Funeral Day, and so who started this and why?
That was actually started by a lady named Stephanie West Allen about 14 years ago. When she had the first one. It was started when she realized that her husband, his mother died, and he had no idea what she wanted. And she saw what a hard time he was having trying to pull together a meaningful, memorable memorial service for her. So she put together a workbook and then started Create a Great Funeral Day to help encourage people to have a conversation, make some plans, let people know what they are.
Right.
And my philosophy is, talking about sex won't make you pregnant, talking about funerals won't make you dead.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad you said that. That's a great way to put it. Now, you're holding your 5th annual Albuquerque Death Cafe tomorrow. What is a Death Cafe?
A Death Cafe is something that comes to us from the United Kingdom. It's a low-key event where total strangers come together to talk about what's on their hearts and their minds about mortality issues, with the idea of getting the most out of this finite lifetime. And they are actually quite upbeat, life-affirming events. We have some coffee, we have some tea, we have a little snack, and we just talk about whatever people want to talk about.
That's great. Now, who attends these events and what's discussed there?
You know, it's mostly baby boomers, but there are some older people, there are some younger people, and things that come up are financial concerns, medical concerns, talking to people who have passed on beyond this lifetime, just everything you can think of. A lot of concern about control over how we die.
Right.
I think that's endemic of the baby boomer generation.
Right, yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. And, you know, of course, as we were saying during the break, this is a hard conversation to start. I mean, I don't like discussing it. I don't think anyone looks forward to it. So how do we start this conversation when it's a difficult subject like our mortality or our loved ones' mortality?
You know, the important thing is to start talking before somebody's sick or before somebody dies, and bring a little fun into it. I like to quote that Mary Poppins song, "In every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. You find the fun and snap, the job's a game." I did create a game called the Newly Dead game, which is like the Newlywed game.
Newly Dead game.
It's like the Newlywed game, but all the questions are how well you know someone else's last wishes. And that's available on my website. But also, you know, my book, A Good Goodbye, it has a cartoon on the cover, so you know it's got humor in it too. Just having information and being able to say, what do you think? And the Death Cafe is also a great way to get that conversation started.
So if you can, just give me the details again about that Death Cafe.
It will be Wednesday, the 30th, Create a Great Funeral Day at Sheila's Suites. 8600 Indian School Road Northeast, and you can find more about it at agoodgoodbye.com.
Okay. And of course, we said you got this book here, as you can see on our screen here, folks. How can we get a copy of this, A Good Goodbye?
It's available in town at Bookworks, Blue Eagle Metaphysical Emporium, online at Amazon and other book retailers, and of course my own site. And also my DVD set is coming out in November, also called The Good Goodbye. It's 12 interviews from everything from pre-need funeral planning to grief counseling.
Great. Well, Gail, thank you so much for the information and providing the service.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Absolutely. All right, well, coming up in the second half hour of Tu Casa Style,